After ruining my body by eating only junk food for 50 hours, I decided to change. So for the next 50 hours, I'm going to do the complete opposite. Eat only healthy food. And to make the challenge even fairer, I'm not going to work out or do any cardio to find out how much just eating can change my body and if I can burn fat. And besides showing my body so we can compare the before and after at the end of the video, I'm also going to weigh myself. Now 90.8, wow, just 10 more to 100, huh? Hold on. And for the next 50 hours, I won't be able to have sugar, soda, sweets, fast food, bread. Wait, what do you mean? Bread is healthy? Try eating 10 loaves and see what happens. No pasta, snacks, cookies, or ultra-processed foods. Plus, I'll need to drink 4 liters of water daily, which is the average for my height of 1.80 meters and weight of 90 kilos. So, it will be 50 hours of just eating protein and salad. And your registration, which I trust you with. And before we move on to breakfast, we already have to start by drinking water. One of the things that brings me the most benefits, bro, in life, in your life, in everyone's life, is drinking water when you wake up. Before breakfast, let's drink 500 ml of water. I know shakers are usually for whey or creatine, but I'm going to use it to drink water because it has this measurement here, so I'll know exactly how much water I'm drinking. That's it. So 500 ml of water. Let's go. Hey man, you know what's the worst part of all this? It's really cold, right? Look at the weather. The weather is crap. Then you say, man, I'm not gonna drink water from the fridge, right? Cold water isn't working, so I drink filtered water instead, which is freezing. For breakfast, I'll have 4 eggs as my protein. What's my usual daily routine? I usually make eggs and put them on a bread roll, but today it's just 4 scrambled eggs. For those who don't know, bread is a type of dough. Like, it's not bad for you, but it's also not something that's really good for you. It's just there, you know? And if you eat a lot of bread, if you eat it all the time, every day, little by little, that belly is going to show up. So since the goal here is just to be healthy, let's make 4 eggs. Well, basically every food has calories, you know? But eggs are one of the foods with the highest amount of protein per calorie, you know? So even though it has calories too, a lot of people say that the egg yolk is very fatty, that it has fat. Some people even skip the yolk, like they'll eat 6 eggs but only 2 yolks and 6 egg whites. Honestly, I think that's just being picky, okay? If you want to cut fat from eggs, you should cut fat from everything else first. Eggs should be your last concern. However, if you're a bodybuilder aiming to get very lean, disregard my advice. I'm not an expert, so besides being a cheap protein, eggs are a good protein for our breakfast. But honestly, man, for me, a crusty bread roll with a bit of butter, that's good. And besides the 4 eggs, pay attention, I didn't add creamy cheese spread to the eggs to make them really creamy. But since it's also a healthy meal, we need some fruit, so let's go with apple. I was used to always eating banana for breakfast. Don't make that joke. For him, 2026 is already over, but for those who don't know, bananas have calories just like apples, but apples tend to have fewer calories than bananas. I swear I didn't know that because to me, fruit is just fruit. So since we want to have as few calories as possible with the highest amount of protein, apple, and also apple. It makes you feel fuller because of the chewing, so we'll feel more satisfied and you'll say, I'm hungry, not just with an apple in my stomach. It's not like that either. And obviously I have to drink something, so I'm going to have black coffee. Alright guys, I need to drink coffee to wake up, otherwise I just can't, man. So I'm going to have some coffee. This is coffee without sugar, okay? I'm not going to tell you it's bad because I've gotten used to drinking coffee without sugar my whole life, so it's not something that's hard for me, and coffee has no calories. So this here, man, is just to satisfy the craving. Just don't drink 3 or 4 of these a day because then it really will kill you. Look, it's cold. That's nice. And I put it in a glass cup, which you can't even heat up in the microwave. And this is our breakfast, being healthy. So it's a breakfast that if I eat it every day, man, my health, bro, would be 0. I can't eat coffee, cake, or lunch, or it'll mess things up. Anyway, here are 4 scrambled eggs, an apple, and a sip of coffee. So, in terms of calories, we basically have 365 calories here, counting the eggs and the apple, but we also have 25 grams of protein, which is a lot of protein. Okay, and we're not eating butter or bread. They're not deadly. It's not like having a burger for breakfast, but if I eat bread with butter every day, it's not great. If I switch it for 4 eggs, man, there's no way. Dude, at least I'll make it until lunchtime. While I was having breakfast, I remembered a comment from the last video. The guy turned a normal Brazilian diet into an internet challenge. So, shout out to Luca and Matthias Lopez 4965. What a name, huh, man? To appear in the next video, leave a comment. The one with the most likes will be featured. It's crazy how only Cristiano Ronaldo's reels show up. Personally, I'm enjoying it. Talking a bit about this breakfast, man, the apple was just perfect. You know when the apple is juicy? Man, I have to admit I missed the pão ponto sal because, man, I've even told my girlfriend about it, like, you know, like this. If a nutritionist tells me what I can and can't eat, I'd say take away sweets and sugar, but don't take my pão de sal with butter. So I started working and I realized that having a healthy breakfast really helps with focus and motivation. Okay, it's noon now, so let's have lunch, and basically our lunch. It'll just be chicken and salad. I usually have rice and beans for lunch, but since we're going for extreme healthy eating, which isn't always great, we're skipping them. Little beans. And if it's feijoada, you can invite me, okay? So here we have shredded chicken, tomato, and lettuce, and to help us know the weight of our chicken here. Look, I got this kitchen scale here. I got it recently, and I've been using it a lot to weigh things like a piece of cake. 2, 3, let me put the plate here. Now I'm going to zero it out, and let's put the chicken. 190, just kidding. Man, he told me to eat 250, and it's 190, that's all. So let's get a little more chicken here. 330 grams of chicken. Basically, when I came up with the idea for this video and even asked the EPT chat to create this diet, it told me to eat 250 grams of chicken. I thought that was a lot, but from what I've seen, 250 is very little. For me, how come? Our goal is to have a healthy diet and not go without eating, starving ourselves, so take it easy. Now let's add the tomato, man. Normally now I would be adding rice, so we'll have to substitute it with just salad, and that's how our plate turned out, Marcos. So what are you going to drink for lunch? Man, no, he's being healthy. You don't have to drink anything, not even water, okay? Because like really, out of all the drinks you could have at lunch, water is the healthiest, but even healthier is not drinking anything while you eat, okay? Since I need 4 liters of water daily, I'll have lunch and drink 1 liter in the afternoon. And one thing I noticed when I started trying to eat in the best way is that it's not enough to just choose the best foods. Even when eating healthy, it's easy to overeat without noticing. I'm a perfect example since that's always been a problem for me. I had chicken salad, lots of pasta and rice, and I didn't even know where it was all going. I'd already tried to control what I ate. But researching every food, trying to log it manually is a lot of work, and that's when I gave up. Sorry guys, I'm a loser. But that's when I started using Kawaii. And what I like most is that all you have to do is take a picture of your meal. Using the photo, the app quickly identifies foods and calculates calories and macronutrients in seconds. From my testing, it's very accurate and correctly identified everything on the plate. But if you want even more accuracy than the photo, you can use the food database. Just search for the food you want and it already shows several options with nutritional information. This is very useful, especially when the photo can't identify a food with much accuracy or when you want to check the values before logging them. And I thought it was cool because they have thousands of foods in the database. So pretty much every food I searched for, I found in just a few seconds, and that's amazing. And another feature that I found very useful in the app is the barcode scanner. So whenever you buy something at the store, you just point the camera at the product and you'll log the food in seconds. This makes tracking your nutrition easier and saves time. For better nutrition control, click the first link in the description or pinned comment to download Kawaii. And by using the code Marvin, you get 3 days free, or you can also scan the QR code that's showing on the screen and download the app. So let's have lunch. And for our lunch here, we basically have 600 calories, but we also have 90 grams of protein, which is basically the chicken. Chicken is one of the leanest proteins there is. And the salad is also very good because even in large amounts, it still has very few calories, so it helps fill your stomach. Obviously, it doesn't do it as well, right? If I just give you lettuce and tomatoes, it's kind of sad. I used Calorie Kawaii for the calculations. Remember to click the QR code and download it. Now I'm having lunch while working. Because I just work, and I'm still here at my mom's house. I admit it's a bit sad because I'm a big fan of chewing rice, beans, pasta, the more the better, so it's just chicken and salad. But let's go, and even though lunch was really good and filled me up a lot, the lack of rice and beans is no joke. And another thing, I thought 250 grams of chicken would be too little, so I increased it to 300. But actually, I got really full now, and there's this piece of chicken left that I'll save for dinner or maybe for lunch tomorrow. And I just remembered that this challenge still goes through tomorrow. It's 50 hours long. I started prepping lunch and dinner for the next day since it really helps and makes things more practical, especially for tracking how much I'll eat. So for anyone who wants to eat better, a tip is to always use meal prep containers. And our goal was to drink more liters of water in the afternoon. So right after lunch, I already drank 500 ml. And I drank the other 500 ml of water while I was working. And our afternoon snack is basically meant to keep us from getting hungry until dinner. So after we drank more water, I admit that I can't take it anymore. Here we have natural yogurt and you can see the price, right? 4.85. It's usually better because it has less sugar than flavored yogurt. It's going to be good to help keep you full. We also have an apple again, which also has some fiber that helps with satiety. We're also having whey and creatine with this afternoon snack. Whey is a practical way to boost protein intake and creatine supports daily performance. And recently I even saw some news saying that now creatine has become something everyone should take even if you don't work out. It helps strengthen the brain. But I only take it for my biceps. And usually I have whey with milk because I think it tastes better. But since milk has a lot of carbs and not much protein, it's actually much better to have it with water. And basically, The way I'm going to take is this one here, mochaccino flavor, which is basically coffee, and I really like it. So let's see if it's good. There, a scoop, 2 scoops. And now let's add creatine. Wow, it's good, okay? I thought it wouldn't taste as good with water, you know? Because sometimes it gets a bit watery, but it turned out good. So this one is approved, okay? I really liked it. I still prefer the vanilla one though. For me, vanilla whey is the #1 of all. But this one also passed the test, okay? And if you want to take Soldier supplements, just use my code MARVIN and you'll get a discount. And usually for my afternoon snack, sometimes I make a roll with eggs, a roll with butter, or 2 rolls, sometimes even 3 or 4, depending. If it's a good day, 5. And basically in this afternoon meal we have 435 calories. That's actually quite a lot for an afternoon snack, but on the other hand, we have 57 grams of protein. I was heading to my grandmother's for dinner to watch the Brazil game. Before leaving, I drank 500 ml of water and brought my meal prep. And besides being anxious because today the boy wasn't going to play, I was even more anxious because Carlos Ancelotti himself was there watching the game with us. Big Mr. Raimundo, everything was really nice, right? Even 100 savory snacks, just to celebrate. To celebrate the Brazil game, they decided to order snacks. But since I was focused, I couldn't eat them, and unfortunately I had to grab my chicken meal prep and heat it up. I admit it was one of the worst pains I've ever felt. I was eating chicken and salad, and when I looked to the side, there were snacks, and to make it worse, my girlfriend simply decided to eat rice pudding right next to me. No one wanted to see me on top. But after a lot of struggle and a lot of battle, I finished dinner and didn't touch the snacks. It was my girlfriend who got them for me. And as soon as I finished dinner, to avoid wanting a chicken coccinha, I drank another 500 ml of water after Vinicius Jr.'s dance. I went to my girlfriend's house, drank another 500 ml of water before bed, making it 4 liters total. Now it's the second day. Good morning, we're on day 2 of the challenge. I'm already drinking another 500 ml of water here, and Brazil won yesterday 3-0. The kid didn't even get in. Now it's knockout, huh? Monday we're on. And I want you guys to comment what you think the score will be on Monday, alright? Whoever gets it right will win a picks. You'll win. Picks. Talking a bit about the downsides of eating healthy like this, man, I think it really depends on your environment, because yesterday I had roasted chicken for lunch and I was just fine eating. But yesterday during the Brazil game, when I was having dinner while everyone else was eating snacks, man, that killed me. I know this is a video, so I could have easily cheated by filming myself eating dinner, then eating the snacks afterward. I really get into the channel's experiences, and yesterday I didn't eat any snacks. 2, there you go. Now, the positive thing about healthy eating is that I even talked about this with my girlfriend yesterday. I was surprised at how much your diet shapes your day. Yesterday I managed to get a lot done. I was really productive. Man, I slept really well too. I woke up rested. I'm sure that sometimes if I had eaten the snacks, I would have woken up more tired. But I would take that risk. So the first 500 milliliters of the day were down. But this is interesting because it makes us think about how food can change you. So sometimes you're feeling bad. It's not because something's wrong with you. It's because you're eating crap. I'm not talking about poop, for God's sake. I mean like snacks and fried food. I was never really a fan. My problem was never with fried food, salty snacks, sweets, or sugar. My main issue was overeating, especially pasta. I can go without pizza. It's not great, but it's fine. But I like to say it like this: I'll never eat a plate of rice, beans, pasta, or potatoes again. Then I'll have to shoot someone. Here we are again with the same breakfast: apple, egg, and coffee. I'm eating the yolk. Is that okay, or will it make me gain weight? Man, this thing about people taking out the yolk because the yolk is the fatty part of the egg is crazy to me. Because I don't know if you guys know, but the egg yolk contains some very important vitamins, like vitamin A, D, and B12. So sometimes if you get too caught up in this idea of fat, you might actually end up less healthy, you know? Because there's vitamins in this stuff, man. As you know, I live with my family and siblings, so look what I woke up to. This right here is tempting, okay? But it has like 150 calories in just 30 grams. Dear God, man, that's a lot. And what I think is cool about dieting is that as the days go by, you can change it up. Not necessarily the ingredients, but the way you eat. For example, I'm making 4 scrambled eggs. There wouldn't be a problem if I made 4 boiled or fried eggs when I woke up. The key is having 4 eggs, no requesón, so they aren't too creamy. And then it was lunchtime, and once again I grabbed my lunchbox, salad, tomato, and I realized that for all of this you have to have a lot of discipline. It's not that the food is bad, but eating the same thing, my God, I couldn't take it anymore. We're here for lunch and I admit that I'm really hungry, so I brought the stuff to have lunch. Hey Marcos, what do you mean? Did you bring a coffee thing? Using random things to prop up my phone for videos. I know it's not just me. People comment like, Marvin always makes a stand to watch videos while eating. I know that everyone when they're about to eat grabs whatever is in front of them and uses it to prop up their phone, you know? So I need to say that I realize the main biggest factor in eating well isn't even about liking the food or not. Because man, it's not bad to eat chicken and salad. But it's much more about discipline, eating the same thing every day. It doesn't necessarily have to be the exact same thing. You can mix it up, but it's really about discipline, man. Like, let's go one more time. And eating this one more time. And eating this one more time. But obviously that shows on your body. You look at someone and you can already tell if they ate well or not. Because if you look at them and they're 200 kilos. After lunch, I drank another 500 ml of water. It's important to hydrate after eating since your brain can mistake thirst for sugar cravings. So sometimes when you finish lunch and want to eat something sweet, actually, it's just your brain telling you to hydrate. And I got another 500 ml to drink afterwards. For the afternoon coffee break, another 500 ml of water. I didn't even mention it, but it's kind of obvious, right? I'm drinking a lot of water, but I'm always in the bathroom. That's good, right? I think so. And our afternoon coffee break is going to be different, okay? It's still going to be the same ingredients, which are an apple, the same plain yogurt, and the whey with creatine. And today I picked the Cucks flavored whey. That's because instead of eating everything separately like I did yesterday, I'm going to try to make a recipe with it. So first I'm going to open the yogurt here. I'll pour the yogurt into this cup. Look, you have to scrape it well, man, because this one costs 5 rays, dude. Just kidding. And now I'm going to take this apple and cut it into some pieces. Did you think there was going to be some magic, man? I show you the reality, dude. So now we have the apples chopped up. Now in this cup, I'm going to add the whey. That's one of the reasons we're using Cucks flavored whey today, because I don't think the mochaccino one would go so well. So let's go, it's 2 scoops. And basically the idea is to mix this up and pour it over the apple. I know Cucks isn't related to apple, but it has chocolate, which I prefer over coffee. Creatine is flavorless, so it shouldn't affect the taste, right? Before mixing, here it is. Yogurt, whey, and creatine. Let's hope it turns out well because I got my clothes dirty. If you like Marvin's t-shirts, I'm now sponsored by a clothing brand. Buy from Allway and use code Marvin for a discount. I mixed it and this is how it looks. Man, this is insanely good. No, you guys don't get it. Now my question is if this will go well with the apple. Let me try it here. No, I got it right, okay? Now I'll pour it over the apple and we'll create like... I'm not sure either, man. It'll turn into something cool. Guys, here's how the recipe turned out. Let me think of a name. Yogurt with cookies flavored whey and apple. That's the name. Did you like it, Ricardo? Yeah, guys, drinking a lot of water, things get crazy. Out of this whole challenge, I think this is the part that impressed me the most because, man, honestly, this turned out really good. Now I'm even going to share some information here. This reminds me of cakes with fruit, like powdered milk cake with grapes. The fruit balances the sweetness. This is really good. I'd rate it 10 out of 10. Honestly, it was great and much more practical than eating an apple, yogurt, and whey separately. It made my life much easier. And as dinner time got closer, I drank even more water, went to heat up my meal, grabbed some more salad, and had dinner again. After dinner, I drank more water, but was still a liter short of 4 liters. I got tired and went to sleep, so that last liter will go down in history. Now the challenge is over. Yesterday, I forgot to drink another liter of water and just went to sleep. Sometimes you won't stick exactly to your diet and that's okay. I'm just using it as an excuse so I can mess up, okay? I'm telling you, in 2 days I consumed about 3,400 calories. That's high, but if you think about it, that's 1,700 per day, which ends up being low. Because normally, a person of my height, 1.80 meters and 90 kilos burns around 3,000 calories per day. So basically, in this 50-hour challenge, I had a deficit of about 2,600 calories. And doing the math that 7,700 calories equals 1 kilo of body fat, it's like I lost about 340 grams of fat, and that's quite a lot for 50 hours, but what about protein? Basically, I consumed 238 grams of protein. That equals 2.64 grams of protein per kilo of body weight. And for most people who work out, 1.6 or 2 is already very good. So we went above that, which is even better. But obviously in 2 days, it doesn't bring such a big benefit. But this in the long run is crazy, okay? And now it's time for us to see how much I weigh. Let's go. I was at 90.8 and now I'm at 88.8. So in 50 hours, I lost 2 kilos. Man, damn, I'm still shocked, okay? I didn't know I was going to lose that much. And the cool thing about all this is that I didn't lose weight by not eating or starving myself. Because I wasn't hungry, so I didn't catabolize or anything. I literally lost weight because I ate well, man, and also water helps a lot. Because normally I used to drink about 2 to 2.5 liters of water a day. So by drinking a lot of water, we reduce water retention in the body. So obviously that ends up making us lose more weight. And before we check out the physical transformation, don't forget to download Calcawai and make your diet a lot more practical. And use the code MARVIN to get 3 days free. And visually, it really surprised me. I don't think it's a big difference since it's just 2 days, but I'm clearly leaner. Remember, I didn't do cardio or workout. It's wild that even though not much has changed, I made a big difference in just 2 days. That's the same amount of time it took to mess up my body by eating junk food for 50 hours. You can recover in 2 days too. Obviously, this is kind of an extreme diet, at least for me. And would I do this diet? No, I wouldn't. Because even though I think the foods are good, I found it to be a very strict diet. And I'm in favor of balance, man. Like, are you dieting? Alright, but have a little sweet, have a protein bar, eat something. If you want it, eat it, you know, man. You only live once. I'm not a bodybuilder either, you know? If that was my job, fine. But it's not, so man, I work out so I can eat whatever I want. But now the question remains, was it really worth doing this diet? Try it out yourself, bro.